I just watched the new Suicide Squad movie and the new Peacemaker episodes, all four. I can't wait till the fucking fifth episode comes out on Thursday. And just to make it clear, I fucking loved all of it. I loved it. It was great, honestly. Fucking peace. John Cena did a great job playing Peacemaker. I don't know any of the other actors other than Margot Robbie, so there's that. But that being said, I really loved the film. It was actually like just the I'll say this: the beginning of the film. I'm not going to say what it was, but there was a certain sequence where I'll just say they're jumping out of a certain thing, right? And they're over the water, and one of the characters doesn't make it, and it's just so the way that they did it was just so fucking funny. It's beyond funny. It was just I haven't laughed that hard in over a year. Honestly, it was so fucking hilarious. And then as for Peacemaker, I really do love how they kept it where it's like a rated R type of show, and each episode is amazing. But the only thing that I'm complaining about so far is that there's this mercenary who he takes charge and basically orders Peacemaker to kill all these people for certain reasons, and his character is supposed to be like this mercenary, big tough guy with a lot of like mystery. I was gonna say mysteriousness, but it's mystery. A lot of mystery behind him, and he's supposed to be this scary character. Now, and I'm not ridiculing the actor who plays him, but the actor who plays him, like I just don't get the vibe that like this guy is like this super fucking tough mercenary. I just get the vibe that honestly he's just the boss, the guy in charge who's fed up with Peacemaker constantly. Because like you'll notice, like Peacemaker's obviously a dick, and like every now and then they'll have conversations, like as a group because it's a group, and you'll just see like the guy in charge, the mercenary, he just gets so mad at him, like he's so fed up. But fucking, what was I gonna say? Oh, the comedy in all of it, by the way, like all of it as in fucking, the Justice League and the Peacemaker episodes, is that what I love about it is that, all right, I'll put it, let me give you an example. When it comes to Marvel, because remember, this is DC, when it comes to Marvel, when they make a movie and they make a certain scene that's humorous, they have a very, like, it's their formula, really, where they make a funny, sense of relief, and then they just move on right away. It's done. That was barely part of the story. It could be ignored or left out. What they fucking do, what DC does, or Warner Brothers, is it's actually James Gunn, who's the director of Guardians of the Galaxy, and what he does with the comedy is genius, and I really like it. And what he does is that um, he'll follow through in the next scene to accommodate for the fact that whatever the joke was actually happened, and it wasn't just like a gag. For example, um I'm not going to say where this comes from, what scene this is in, because obviously this is a big spoiler, but there's a certain scene in one of these films and shows where they're infiltrating a certain, I guess, town, I want to call it, or like a base, and there's a bunch of people that they kill, and then they actually make it into the like they make it to where they're trying to get, and they realize that they didn't have to do that, and they make a slight joke, like the person in charge is like, how did my men not see you? And then she said, did you see any of my men? And then obviously they killed them all, but they're not going to say that. And then it was just one of those like, no, I didn't see it. No, we didn't see anyone. And then if it was Marvel, for example, right? Marvel would have just took that and then probably just went on with a different scene, and that you would never see anything in regards to what that was. What Warner Brothers did, or what James Gunn did, is he actually, in the very next scene, it shows outside where all the men were, and the woman in charge reacting, just to actually show that like that joke wasn't just a joke. Like she's gonna eventually find out that I don't know, it's very hard to explain, but I really love that, like, overall the comedy and, like, it's just very clever. Whereas in Marvel, it's always a formula that they follow, sadly. But no, I really do love it. It's great. I fucking I saw the Eternals, and no. I guess I'm just gonna talk about movies. So Eternals, listen, I love the concept, and I love the efforts that were made to make it, like, I guess, what would you say? Because the whole concept of the movies, I'm gonna just spoil the Eternals. Spoiler warning, because there's no way I'm gonna explain this to you without spoiling it. So spoiler alert: the whole idea of the Celestials in the Eternals is that there was chaos, before the universe ever existed, or multiverse, whatever the fuck. There was chaos, just like they say in the Bible. And within this chaos was born a Celestial. Now, the Celestial, for those who don't watch Marvel, is a giant, fucking huge, massive, sentient being, god, basically. It's basically a god that's very big, like bigger, way bigger than planets. Like, if you've ever heard of Galactus, like, imagine that's how big he is. And there's this, like I said, so there's a Celestial that was born into the chaos before the universe, and his name is Erishim. And Erishim was supposedly, now I say supposedly because there's a lot of people saying that they're going to prove that it was just all a lie in the next sequel. But as of right now, with what we were given, Erishim is supposedly the first creator of the first son, or the creator of the first son. And which means that he technically gave birth to this universe. And then doing so led to the planets surrounding the sun, and he decided that in each planet, or certain planets I should say, that is capable of housing intelligent life, he would choose and then, I guess, inject, maybe that's the right word, inject a celestial egg into the planets. And then once that intelligent life form reaches a certain mass and population, it basically just uses that as like a source of energy and a source of power in order to hatch from the planet. And in the Eternals, in the Eternals, our planet is one of these fucking eggs. And by the way, the celestial that is inside of the Earth is actually called Tiamat, which is that word itself is actually very old, and I'm not going to get into it, but there's a lot of theories of what the real Tiamat is, and yeah, there's just a lot. But basically, these fucking Celestials hatch, right, and they move on, and they just plug in fucking eggs into more planets, and it's basically the movie is trying to establish that as like the cycle of the universe, or the cycle of life inside the universe, or what the universe is basically. And the reason why I'm split upon it, because the reason why I do like it is because I like the idea that there's more science, more grand science beyond what we understand and beyond us. It's like ants. Like, imagine us as ants, doing our own thing, trying to figure out what's going on, and then there's people, and imagine those people as the Celestials doing actual shit around them, surrounding them, and the fucking people are ants, or the humans are ants. Sorry, and I don't know. It's hard to explain, but I like the idea that there's like greater science beyond what we understand, and I also like the idea that that is the secret, that like, that's the answer to the question, like, what is this place? Like, how did this place come into existence? What is it like? What are we? What are we for? Like, I like that. What I don't like is that, like, it's not a fully fleshed out idea and concept. Like, you could, because think about this: all those people that just, all that intelligent life just die when they hatch, and their way of, the Marvel's way of fucking, explaining this and explaining how it makes sense is that And they did it through Erishim, and he said, quote, the end of one life is the beginning of another. But it's not one life, it's 7.8 billions of humans for one celestial. It's just, I don't know. And a lot of people share my opinion on this. Like, it's just such a stupid. It's not stupid. Yeah, like I said, I really like the efforts, but they like, why didn't you make it? Why didn't you guys make this into a Disney Plus show and full like and explore? Like, it's not even just the Celestials that need more depth and exploring. It's the actual Eternals. There's 10 characters just crammed into this fucking movie. Of course, it's not going to be good. You know, like, it's just, what do you expect? You have all the tools there. Maybe that, like, what I'm thinking, my theory right now, like my actual theory as to why they didn't do a Disney Plus show, is that they did think about it and they considered it, but it would have costed way too much money. Because, and the reason why, like, I say this in regards to the Eternals as opposed to any other Marvel series is because not only is it a series, which means that there's multiple like 40-minute episodes. That's way more, like, a series is way more film and effort and money and fucking scripting and writing than just one movie. That being said, if you see the Eternals, you'll notice that the visuals in that movie are insane. I'll say this: it's a very visually appealing and amusing fucking movie. It blew my mind when I was watching it. And in order to do that, you need to spend a lot of money. Therefore, like, I guess, you can't have crazy visuals and, over the span of fucking 8 40-minute episodes. It just would have probably costed too much money. I guess that's probably what it was. But if they did have enough money, like, or if they budgeted differently and they weren't making so many fucking TV shows and movies and shit, if they cut off some of their plans that are unnecessary, then they could have done that a lot better. They could have just done it in a Disney Plus show. We could still be watching it, Fucking yeah, that movie was. Oh, you know what? I'll give it this. It's, if I had to rate it from 1 to 100, it would definitely be above 50. Like, it's not a shit movie by any means. It's just there's too many plot holes to ignore. That's all. Like, for example, Spider-Man No Way Home has its own plot holes. Like, for example, when everyone loses their memory of Peter Parker, all it would take is them to read one of those newspapers or fucking, articles online about how Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Or, yeah, exactly. Or, for example, how Electro never fucking knew Spider-Man was Peter Parker, so technically he should have never been there. And it just keeps going. But there's not as many, and it's not as obvious. So that's the difference. As for The Matrix 4, that was, wow. That was, that was a really bad movie. There's nothing really good to say about the movie. I'm actually trying to think of something that I enjoyed. Okay, I'll say this. When I saw the trailer and, like, the reveal for The Matrix, I thought they were gonna, like, pull, like, a Space Jam and just completely redesign, like, the real, like, the, when, like, Neo wakes up and he's in that, like, weird casket thing with the, like, the liquids, and then, like, he lifts up and, like, you see all that. I thought they were gonna just change it completely and just, make it fucked and try to, like, make it better with their new age technology. But what they did was they actually stayed true to the original, and they kept it pretty real, pretty much the same. Of course, with, like, better graphics too. Like, for example, when they're in the real world, Morpheus, or the new Morpheus, I should say, is just like, he's like this, like, a bunch of particles that are coming together to form his body. But it's really cool. Just stuff like that is cool. But the storyline itself is so, it's not even just the storyline, but mainly the storyline is horrible. There's just so much bad about this movie. I'm gonna start with the storyline. So the storyline is basically that Neo, or this Neo that we see in this movie, is a game developer, and he actually developed the Matrix trilogy as a video game. So we learn that the Matrix was actually a video game all along, but the creator of this video game was Neo, and it's so shit. He talks to this therapist because like he keeps having memories from his past life inside the Matrix, but this fucking therapist, he's known as I think he's known as the analyst, and he is the representation of social media and all the things that are draining our energy and like, yeah, basically keeping us within it. And you'll notice that because he's completely dressed in blue. But he talks to this guy, and he keeps him. He like this. The analyst keeps reassuring Neo that it's just this. I don't even know what he says. He basically convinces him that it's just all in his head, right? It's just all in his head. He gives him these blue pills to take in order to make it go away, and then shit just pops off. But it's just like, for example, like shit pops off as in Trinity comes in and meets Neo, but like just the way that they did this whole movie, like for example, the opening shot is like is supposed to be a callback to the original where it's Trinity and or I think it's Trinity, or no, it's this blue haired girl, I think. I don't know, it's this girl and she's getting chased by agents, and it's basically the exact same type of situation. Um, and they just rely so heavily on like nostalgia and like the just such a bad movie. And not even just to mention the fact that the fighting in this movie was absolutely horrid. It was bad. Like, not even just for a Matrix movie, but for an action movie. It didn't make sense sometimes. And come on. If you watch any of the fight scenes, like hand to hand combat fight scenes in fucking any of the original trilogies, you'll notice that it's A, really fast, B, very precise, and C, very CGI. None of it's real. In the Matrix 4, no. Like a good majority of it's real, but like they edit it in a way with CGI to make it look better. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. But with the Matrix 4 Resurrections, when you watch the fight scene, and it's not, you can't blame Keanu. He's older, you know. He's gonna be slower. They did nothing to help the situation. They did nothing to, you know, fucking smooth it over. Nothing. And my least favorite scene in this movie, I want to talk about it, is when the analyst has Trinity, I guess, like, hostage, right? And Neo walks in, and all of a sudden time goes real slow, like really slow. And then all you see is that everything is slow except the analyst. And basically the analyst explains what the Matrix is. The Matrix is, and why there's always Neo, and then why there's Trinity. And or not Neo, but there's why there's always the one, you know. And he just explains that like every time that they as in, you know, Neo and Trinity get really close, a lot of energy is made and they feed off that energy. That's why fucking what's his fucking name, Neo and Trinity are basically in love. But at the end of the movie, or I guess towards the end of the movie, they get pretty close together, and then this big surge of energy happens, and it's just like, this, come on. And the main antagonist, other than like, you know, the analyst and Smith, is fucking, and it's not even fucking Smith. Anyways, the main antagonist isn't agents or anything to do with the fucking, or I guess it is something to do with the Matrix. It's fucking zombies. That's all it is. It's just, or sorry, they're being possessed by code. Like they act like zombies, and they, as in, like, I guess the people of the city. Which, by the way, aren't those your fucking batteries? If they die in there, they die in real life. Fuckheads, you're gonna just waste your batteries to catch these goofs? No, you're not. That's the whole reason of the agents. It's the whole fucking reason that they just fucked the whole movie over. It's so ass. Fucking hell, man. I don't, you know, even Keanu Reeves didn't really like it. He even said like this. You know what? I don't think this is gonna be a hit. And you know what? He was completely right. He was absolutely 100% right. It was nowhere near a hit. Oh my gosh, it was so bad. You know what though? For just an average viewer, like just watching the movie, like overall enjoyment. I want to say something good about this movie, but I can't. Anyways, let's just move on. So they found out, hackers found out that the GTA trilogy is quite possibly. I'm not sure if it's confirmed, but I was told a while back that the GTA trilogy definitive edition is quite possibly just another fucking rehash of the mobile ports put back onto systems. Remember back in the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 days where they released these really, really, really shit versions of GTA on Xbox 360 and PS3, and then it was later revealed that what they did was they took the mobile port and just hid the controls and then just put it onto a fucking system, which has proven not to work. And now they're gonna do it again and sell it to us for $60 fucking dollars. And you can't buy it separately either. Or no, I think you can on like systems, but on computer I think you have to buy it all together. You're gonna give us a mobile port, a modded mobile port for $60? And this is after the fact that they refused to fucking, go ahead and start making GTA 6. And they just Rockstar, I've lost faith in you. I really hope that you guys realize why you guys make fucking video games. Just don't even make GTA games anymore, honestly. Just give up. If you're gonna stay, I mean, you know what? I guess that's what they did. That is exactly what they did. They completely gave up. They got a lot of success from fucking GTA 5, and they're like, you know what? We're not gonna be able to beat this, and they just gave up. And now they're just too scared to try to fucking compete with their GTA 5. Well, I'll tell you this: if you guys made GTA 6 relatively good compared to GTA 5, you're gonna make billions and billions of dollars just for the name GTA 6. Just that fucking name is gonna bring you guys cash. And you guys just don't do it. It's honestly stupid. And then when people were complaining about the trilogy, Rockstar issued out a report saying that we get it. We see what you mean. You don't want a GTA 6. We'll just focus on GTA 5. That's what you're already doing. Is that why you did that? Is that why you released this shit game? So you would get people to complain? So you would get people to fucking give you a reason to not work on GTA 6? And that's not even what people were saying either. It's just completely wrong and bullshit. It's so, like, stupid. It's stupid. That's what it is. It's stupid. I hope you guys like this new microphone, by the way. It's actually really nice. I can hear my own voice now, too. I have headphones in, so yeah. You guys should check out my YouTube channel. I actually kind of revived it. Or not kind of. Very much so revived it. Like a couple months ago. I got Minecraft, Happy Wheels, all the goods. All the goods from fucking grade 5. It's called Recess Club. And Agent Smith is the profile picture. You just search up Recess Club, school recess. And let me give some backstory, actually, to that name. Because there is actually a reason why I called it that. When I was in elementary school, there was... I think it's pretty safe to say I got in some trouble in school. And the majority of that trouble was on the yard during recess. And I guess my school's way of combating kids getting in trouble on the yard was taking them off the yard and not actually allowing them to go out and hang out with their friends, and instead sending them to the library to go play on the computers. And that's where I found out about basically 100% of the games on Google, Flash games. and cool math games and everything. And so that's why I named it that. Is because I'm playing those games that I learned about in Recess Club, and I actually like the idea of having that as a name. I just like it. One moment. There's this fucking Instagram post that was sent to a group chat that I'm in, and it's like I guess like a callback to it's kids in the 1987, not kids, but high school. And it was saying high school in 1987 looks a lot of fun, and it shows different students hanging out, and they all look like fucking 30-year-olds. They look like they're 30 years old. What the fuck? If you ever see like a high school student nowadays, they're gonna think that they're a grade fucking 7. Like you don't understand. I used to always think, like, for example, the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, like, I used to always think, like, why the fuck do they hire like 28-year-olds to play these fucking 15-year-olds? And now I get it. Because when you see these 15-year-olds back then, they look like they're 30. Which is nerve-wracking because it's almost like you can see, like, it's almost like it's actually a thing that's happening where people are looking younger as the years go on. Like, it's actually there. Like, everyone notices it, but no one wants to say anything. Like, what are they putting stuff in our fucking water? Like, what is this? Oh, man. It's really weird and creepy. Now all of us, we just look like children. But that, you know what though? It is what it is. It is what it is. Shit happens. School. I'm not gonna go to college. I already made this very clear in the podcast. I'm never gonna go to. Well, I'm not gonna say never. I may actually choose later in my life. I'm gonna go to college, but exiting high school, I'm not entering another school. Like, that's like I said this before. Like, when I was exiting elementary school, it's not really graduating. Everyone does. But when I was exiting elementary school and I went into high school, and I know that, like, this is obvious. Like, I'm not saying, like, did you know? I'm just saying that I wasn't expecting this, really. I thought I was, like, in my head, I was just expecting, like, life to just go on. And then I got to high school, and I just had it really rough for the first year. And that's when I realized that, like, and not rough in terms of like getting bullied, but like rough in terms of like teachers in the school. Like, I don't know, but when I actually got into high school, like I said, shit was rough. I wasn't or I was graduating, but I wasn't passing right away. And I just remember thinking, like, this is what I was all hyped up for. And I now know that that is not probably, but definitely the thought that goes through everyone's head when they get into college. And it's like, I just paid and I just fucking went through all of that just to go into another 4 or 5 years of school. Like, it's just shit. Like, no, I'm not doing that. Suck my balls. Like, I honestly don't care if that makes me a loser, which, by the way, if you're not going to college, don't feel bad. You're not a fucking loser. There's plenty of people that didn't go to college. Seth Rogen fucking didn't go to college. I have tons of family that didn't go to college, and they're living very well now. Does it open a lot of doors? Yes. If you're willing to sit through those years and that work to make that extra, $8 to $15 an hour, good for you. That is really good. I'm not saying it isn't. That takes a shit ton of fucking courage. But I'm not willing. I'm not willing to, spend another 4 years just to what? Fucking not have people say you should go to college? That's basically all I see. It's not like I'm going to become a fucking doctor, No, what my plan is, I want to graduate from high school and then spend like at least 1 to 2 years as like something small, right? Like next month I'm getting the job as a stock boy, which if you don't know what that is, I think it's pretty self-explanatory, but I'll explain it. Think of a grocery store. All these things are on the shelves. They don't just miraculously appear there. They're stocked. So I'd be the person that stocks the shelves. And when I graduate, my initial plan is I want to do that for at least 1 to 2 years, and then just to have it on my resume. And then afterwards, I want to enter trade school and become something like a millwrights, something like that. Welder, that's a fucking word. I'm looking for a welder or something, right? I don't know yet. Life is long. There's a lot of time to plan, and there's no need to rush it. But no, that fucking Matrix movie was so like it was just unnecessary. Even in the movie, they fucking call out the fact that Warner Brothers is making him do it. Like, it's a literal scene where he's talking to his boss, who happens to be Smith, and he as in Neo, by the way, and he tells Neo that Warner Bros is gonna make this movie without you or not, or video game, and which basically forces him to say, well, you know what, I might as well be the one to do this. And that is exactly what happened with the director of The Matrix. That's exactly what happened. They actually bugged her for years to make a fourth one, and she refused because the movie or the story was done, which it was. It was complete. But there's money to be made, so that's what happened. And then The Matrix 4, the joke came out, and no one fucking wants to talk about it. But here I am. I'm going to talk about it and shit on it. And another thing is, why didn't they get Hugh? I mean, I do know why. They didn't get Hugo Weaving to come back as Smith because of just scheduling conflicts. But in my mind, if I was unable to get an iconic character's actor back, such an iconic character, by the way, for my movie that I don't even want to make, I would either just say, like, I would just leave it up to Warner Brothers to do this. Say, fuck you guys, I'm not going through all this. And then, yeah, that's what it would that's probably, like, why didn't she do, I guess maybe because it's like her baby, you know, she made it. Don't take it. I don't know. It's really hard to think about. Like, that whole movie was so unnecessary. Like, why? Why was that fucking made? It was so, like, listen, Revolutions, when that came out, that was regarded as a shit movie. And now it's regarded as a decent movie. In contrast to fucking Resurrections. Like, they died. And they resurrected. Like, fuck. Man, the story was over. Fucking hell. It's okay, though. What is it? What was that fucking one movie? Oh, Don't Look Up. That was a really good, I want to say movie. I'm fairly certain it's not a show. I haven't seen it since, like, it came out. But, that was good. I really enjoyed Leonardo's role, and that was amazing. My favorite scene with people in it was definitely when he was trying to inform the president, and it's fucking, and Jonah Hill's there. Oh my god, it was just so fucking funny. But yeah, no, it was a really good movie. Fuck. What's another fucking really good movie that I loved? Oh, this isn't new at all. This is not new at all. But I want to talk about this movie. I haven't yet. It's called Fight Club. Everyone's seen it. What I really, really love about this movie isn't like this is the number one thing I love about this movie. It's not that it's nothing to do with, or it is, but it's not the movie itself. It's that you can go back, like, after the first time watching it, you learn so much about the certain things about the movie. Like, there's just so many different twists. But when you rewatch the movie, knowing that, knowing all the twists, you can actually see it. It's not like, it's not like they fucking, like, in Eternals, right? Like, fucking in Eternals, they you never would have suspected just by like if you even when you know that I'm gonna spoil it. Fuck it, I don't care. Icarus fucking goes crazy. All right, Icarus goes crazy, and he kills what's her fucking? He kills one of the Eternals, and you learn that she died like way earlier in the movie. But when you observe Icarus, knowing this, you know, like he doesn't act like he did it. He acts completely innocent. Like he's there, he's a teammate, and then all of a sudden, you learn that he was the one behind it all. Like that, I don't like that because it's not realistic. But whereas in Fight Club, like there's so many fucking things. Like for example, when they get in the car accident, and Edward Norton gets out, he gets out of the driver's seat, even though when he was in the car, it was his alter ego, which at the time we think is a real person driving the car, which is Brad Pitt. And it's just little things like that, and there's a lot of them too. Like they want you to like if you rewatch it, they want you to see it. They want you to be like, oh, I didn't. That makes sense. That's funny. It's just movies like that. Like I love Fight Club so much. It's such a good masterpiece. Fucking movies. You know, speaking of Edward Norton, there's one movie of his that is regarded as I think his shittiest movie that he's ever made, and it's The Incredible Hulk. When I was 4, 5, 6 years old, that was like my like the go-to movie for me. And then the second one was probably Iron Man, or definitely Iron Man. And then like Finding Nemo and that shit. But like for some reason, when I watched The Incredible Hulk, it was so like it was cool. It was cool, right? Like I really like thinking back, like what really resonated with me a lot was his first appearance as the Hulk. It's all dark, right? They're in this factory, so you can't really get a good glimpse of the Hulk, but you know who the Hulk is. So when he's transforming, you get the perfect the sense that you get, which is that like, oh shit, this is not good. And then he turns, and they like when initially when he turns and they know that something's wrong, he's in this like part of the room that he got kicked over to that's like completely pitch black. So they think it's still Edward Norton or Bruce Banner or whatever. And really it's the Hulk, and it's the Hulk, but they don't. And fucking this one guy walks over. Or no. So the way that how he transforms is that he's in the middle of transforming and he's like making these sounds and they don't know what the fuck's going on. And this one guy walks over and he's like basically almost through the whole transformation, and he goes to kick him, and the Hulk catches his foot, and then you see him get flung like across the whole building, like through a bunch of windows and shit. And then you see you still don't see the Hulk, and then you see the rest of the people look into the darkness and they can't see what it is. And then fucking I don't even remember now. Or yeah, so one person I'm pretty sure begins to run, and then the other guy starts to run, and then he gets he gets grabbed and then pulled into the darkness, and you just see his shoe hit the ground, and it's just so perfect. Like they made the Hulk like this horror type of character, just like to reveal him, and then his second appearance is in broad daylight, which is when you really see him, fuck shit around. And then his third appearance as the Hulk, I think he only turns into no, he turns into Hulk 4 times, but one of them is like he's on a table at Mr. Blue, who happens to be or Dr. Blue, who happens to be a what's his fucking name? The leader in the comics. He's on the table and he turns into the Hulk on purpose, and then like they try to like kill off the Hulk, but it doesn't work. It's dumb. But like the final appearance of the Hulk is my favorite because, by the way, like I said, this movie is like hated on, like regarded as the most forgettable, shittiest MCU movie ever. But like it's I don't completely get why, other than like, yes, it could have been a better script. But when you like go watch it, go watch The Incredible Hulk from 2008, and it's not bad. Or was it 2009? I think it was 2008 because it came out the same year as Iron Man. Yeah, they released Iron Man and The Incredible Hulk, and the reason why they released two movies is so that if one didn't do so well, hopefully the other would persevere, which is what happened. But what's funny is actually thinking about that. Sorry, I will get back to what I was saying. But what's really funny is that um, what was revealed when Endgame came out is that they actually, the original directors and whatnot, everyone at Marvel thought that the Incredible Hulk was going to do way better than Iron Man because we're already familiar with Hulk movies, and Iron Man was only in like that 170s Avengers movie, which by the way, holy shit, that was ridiculous. But anyways, back to what I was saying. My favorite appearance from the Hulk in that movie is when he has to go down to Brooklyn in New York, and because the Abomination, who is the antagonist, is just fucking shit around. He's like killing people, throwing shit. Like that doesn't sound too crazy for a movie, but like he's basically a bigger, stronger Hulk, right? And the Hulk or Bruce Banner, he had just been captured by the military or General Ross. And so he's in a helicopter right now, thousands of feet in the air. And then they find out that this abomination is, crashing the shit. He's causing some shit that shouldn't be happening. And what happens is Banner has to jump out of the helicopter. And this is right after the experiment, or I guess the when he was on the table and he was given that fucking, like, I guess chemical that would kill the Hulk or take away the Hulk, like the ability to turn into the Hulk. Like it was right after that, and it all fucking, like, it's not like because they got intruded on or infiltrated by like the military, but it's not like the military like infiltrated during it. Like it all ended. Excuse me. It all ended. So it's a matter of like, did it work or not, really? And now there's a need for him to turn into the Hulk, but he's not even sure if he can do it. And so basically, he has to run and jump out of this helicopter and turn into the Hulk midway through the air in order to survive. And if he doesn't, because of the serum that he was given, then he would just die. And what I love, and they actually reference it in Thor Ragnarok, what I love about this is that he falls, but he doesn't turn into the Hulk, right? Which makes you think, oh, fuck, he's not the Hulk. But then he hits the ground and then turns into the Hulk. And then the CGI fight ensues. But just, I like that idea of like not giving the audience what they want until afterwards, to reveal that, oh yes, actually he is the Hulk. It's just, I don't know, it's clever. Like that, like script writing like that, like the fact that they worked into the script to make him somehow end up on a helicopter, so it's not like if he can't turn into the, like, it gave so much more fucking yikes to the situation, so much more fucking tension, because it gives the idea that if he can't turn into the Hulk, he's gonna just hit the ground and die. Whereas if he was already on the ground and he can't turn into the Hulk, like, oh no, they're gonna try other shit and fail. It's just like a very clever way. And it's not like he's conveniently on this helicopter at this time. Like, there's a reason why he's on the helicopter. He was infiltrated, and the fact that he is the fact that we aren't aware of the fact that he can or can't turn into the Hulk still while he's on the helicopter is the reason why he's on the helicopter, or the way that he got on the helicopter is from them capturing him from getting that serum. And then straight afterwards, now he's in the sky. Like, it's just so clever writing that, like, how can you hate on that? But, like, it's really, I think, you know what? I'll say it. It's it's better than the Matrix Resurrections. I'll say that. It's a pretty good movie. It's I think you know what? It's underrated. That I'll say that. It's underrated as a movie. And then they recasted they recasted Banner as Mark Ruffalo. Which you know what? He does a great job. He does a fucking fantastic job as Banner. You got to give it to him. Like the way he delivers his fucking demeanor and everything. Like it's that. You know what? He is a better Banner than Edward Norton. But I liked Edward Norton's Hulk more than Ruffalo's Hulk, like the actual Hulk, because Edward Norton's Hulk, he was just more mean looking. Whereas, like, and he wasn't as bulky either. Like, he looked shredded and big. Whereas, like, the Hulk in, like, you know, the MCU, like, he's big and muscular, but he's almost too big. Like, they made him really, really, like, not fat, but wide. Because, like, you know, if a body was to hold that much muscle, it would have to be really big. I get it, but the way they did it in the Incredible Hulk 2000 from 2008, they did a good job. They could have just rehashed. Like they didn't even need all they could have. You know what I wish they'd done? Now thinking about it, I never thought about this. What I wish they'd done in the Avengers, from 2012 is in like, yes, definitely recast Edward Norton. He was not like a. I understand the reasons why they did that, and it's not even just the money situation or the script. It was just because he just didn't have that really good chemistry with the rest of the actors, and because they actually tried, and yeah, he just didn't have very good chemistry with the other actors, and then they recasted him. But what I don't like is that they completely redesigned the Hulk. They didn't really need to do that. We've already seen the Hulk, and they have Mark Ruffalo's face like in the Hulk, like you can see that's Mark Ruffalo. And what I wish that they could have done, what they could have done that I wish they did, is that they take the original model from the Incredible Hulk 2008, remaster it so it looks better, you know, more realistic. Not change it, but just remaster it. And then change the face. That's all you would have had to do, guys. Just change the face to Mark's. And you know what? I bet it would have been fucking. I bet people would love the Hulk more then. Because when you go back to watch the Incredible Hulk, it's just not this completely different character and Hulk. It's like I get that the cast change made it kind of necessary, but it wasn't necessary. There's no need, you know? I don't know. I don't know. Apparently, in the new Doctor Strange movie, Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, they're actually bringing on Tom Cruise. This is a rumor, by the way. They're supposedly going to bring on Tom Cruise as a Tony Stark variant. Variant as in, like, you know, I don't even want to explain it, but I'm gonna. If you haven't watched Loki, the Loki series, a variant is imagine yourself sitting in your couch, right? Or on your couch watching TV. You're watching TV, and then a portal opens and it's another you from a different universe. That you would be considered a variant. It's a variant of yourself. So basically, oh no. Oh, right, Iron Man. Okay, sorry, I completely like lost track of what I was saying. All right, yeah. So a Tony Stark variant, and what I actually really like this idea, and a lot of people don't, but I really like this idea considering the fact that Tom Cruise was actually the original actor that they approached for this role, believe it or not, and he turned it down because it was too risky, and then they went to Robert Downey Jr. and which, by the way, he plays such a he. I'm so glad that he turned down that role. But damn, man, Iron Man was such a good movie. Do you know what? A lot of people don't like the second movie. I've talked to a couple of people, and they've given some pretty good reasons. Like, for example, they say that Iron Man 2 is a shit movie, or not a shit movie, but it's just a bad movie because the character development that Tony Stark had made in Iron Man 1 had been seemingly erased in Iron Man 2, which I disagree. And I'll say this right now. Yes, he still has an ego. He's still very self-centered. But what's different and what's still consistent from the last movie is that he's realized that he is capable of doing good by doing it himself, and not selling weapons. There's an alternative to preserving peace. And that's why he says that in the movie. And that was the main, because he never lost his ego in Iron Man 1. Not one point in Iron Man 1 did he, have to, become humble. Like, that never happened. So there was no character development in regards to his ego in the Iron Man 1. Like, he always had an ego. It was just his realization and epiphany that he can save people as opposed to selling weapons to kill other people. And that, in and of itself, is why Iron Man 2 works. Because he still has his ego, but... And, by the way, his ego actually gets addressed in this movie as opposed to the first one. But basically, he's been Iron Man for like a couple months now, let's say. And he's done journeys, like, he's already done stuff to help preserve peace. And he is Iron Man. Okay, he's already been Iron Man. There's been some time passed between Iron Man 1 and 2. Basically, this movie, Iron Man 2, is that the arc reactor, the source of energy for the suit that he uses, is poisoning him. And the whole movie is him trying to find an alternative, which happens to be badassium or vibranium, which he rediscovers. Or not rediscovers, but, he finds. And it works. But what I don't like about the Iron Man 2 is that Ivan Drago, he builds these drones, right? Why wouldn't you do that in the first... Or, never mind. Never mind. I revoke that statement completely. Don't fucking stop it. All right? I understand now, because Justin Hammer gave him the tools. Okay, I got it. Okay. My bad. That makes sense. All right. As for Justin Hammer, I actually think he was a really good character in the movie. All right, I'll be right back. Sitting in the theaters watching Infinity War was a crazy, crazy experience because I was with my family. And I had not asked to go see this movie. Like, up until the point I had only seen the trailer, and I was really hyped for the movie. I was really excited, but I knew, or at least I thought I knew, that no one's going to take me to the theaters. Or so I thought, because my uncle actually happened to take me to the theaters to watch it. And it was actually a surprise, too, which was awesome. And the ending, if you haven't seen Infinity War, I'm kind of... spoiler warning. He snaps his fingers and half a life. He as in Thanos. Half a life is gone. And then it ends. No one had ever really seen a superhero movie where the villain wins up until that point. So it was mind-blowing. And that is why Endgame made so much money, is because of the setup. I love it, actually. I really, you know what? You got to give it to them. That was genius planning, genius budgeting, genius everything. And they pulled it off. And everything that they didn't pull off in Endgame, by the way, like all the characters that didn't really have much going for them in Endgame because there was so much going on, you can't blame them. They're getting their own series, like, for example. And, like, other things, too. Like, fucking things were set up in Endgame. Like, Falcon and the Winter Soldier and shit, Like, WandaVision. She got her own show. Loki, he got his own show. I'm trying to think of one that, like... Doctor Strange. I think he's getting... I think partially the reason why he's getting his own show... his own sequel so soon is that because in Endgame, all he did was form a tornado out of water and gather the people. Or no, Wong gathered the people. He didn't even gather the people. But, yeah, he just basically told Tony Stark that this is the only way. And then prior to that, he turned a waterfall into a water tornado. That's it. So he deserves his own movie. Hulk, dude, if I'm only watching She-Hulk, and I'm not saying this because of the obvious assumed fucking bullshit narrative because the protagonist is a female. Black Widow is a fucking great movie, all right? Same can't be said for Captain Marvel. But no, I'm only watching She-Hulk for the Hulk, and that's only because I could care less about the She-Hulk character. Just personally, I just don't care about that character. I'm sorry. And B, we haven't had much like fucking focus on the Hulk other than the Avengers movies and the Thor movie, the Ragnarok movie, and he deserves his own fucking like. Apparently, this popped to my head. Apparently, I read an article one time explaining why you don't see any, like, why there isn't another Hulk sequel. Which, by the way, apparently now, they say that they announced that they're working on a World Breaker or World War Hulk or World Breaker Hulk, one of the two. Which that's an insane storyline. Anyways, listen. Basically, this article, I wish I could cite it, but it was like it was just me casually like scrolling through fucking articles, or not articles, but you know when you go all the way to the left side of your phone and you see all those articles. Yeah, that's where I saw it. And this article basically explained that Marvel, or the executives at Marvel, have noticed a trend where every time that they try to make a film or a live action film centered around the Hulk, it flops, which is true. 2003's Incredible Hulk flopped. The fucking 2008's Incredible, or 2003 Incredible Hulk. 2003's Hulk. It was just Hulk. By the way, me and my friend Jacob and Chris, we one time I had them over at my house, and we actually sat through that movie. Like we watched that movie with the intention of just seeing how bad it was. Which, by the way, oh my fuck! And by the way, Kevin Feige, I'm pretty sure, is the one who directed this movie. If not, fucking co-directed it. I don't know. His name is in the fucking credits. All right. So you're to blame, Feige. I'm just kidding. He's clearly made up for himself, but he yeah, like every Hulk movie flops, which I get. But like you don't have to establish it as like, the Drake curse where like every time you you make a movie centered around the Hulk it's going to fail. Like it's not a curse. It's just you're just every time you've tried you just were shit at it. Do it with like your experience now. Like what the fuck? But other than the Hulk, what I also want to see in the She-Hulk series is Abomination, because there's a lot of shit that we haven't seen to follow up on the Abomination. Like, where was he? Where was this fuck? But they're gonna do a pretty good job with that. I'm actually, you know what? I'm not like in love with the idea that they're making it like a lawyer comedy, but it's interesting. I'm curious on how they're gonna pull it off, and if they do pull it off, I'm sure they do. It's Marvel. I mean, like Eternals was shit, but it's Marvel. Eternals. It's not even that. Like, it's not even a bad movie, really. It's just there's just too many plot holes. Like, for example, at the end of the movie, spoiler warning again, the end of the movie is basically, or the third act is centered around Tiamat hatching from Earth. And his head gets out of the Earth, and his hand makes it out of the Earth before they stop him by turning him into marble. Technically, if this, like, by following their own rules in that movie, because remember, eggs are placed right at the core of the planet, which means that the celestial is at the core of the planet, which also means that any fucking movement at all is just going to destroy the planet at all. Like if you move, like if you roll over in bed, there goes the Earth. It's done. You just broke it. Which, by the way, as it's growing, that would also break it. Like it growing inside of the Earth, so, like over the span of millions of years or whatever the fuck, Like, is the Earth getting bigger slowly? Like, I don't get it. There's just too much, way too much. And like, I'll give you another one, another plot hole. Fucking Dane Whitman, I think his name is Dane Whitman, Black Knight, who happens to be in this movie. Not the Black Knight. It sets his arc up. But anyways, listen, he's dating this one character, this one Eternal named Cersei, and he asks her, "Why didn't you guys help when Thanos came?" And her explanation for that is that the Celestials instructed them to only interfere with any human conflict if deviants are involved. But we later learn in the movie that the reason why Eternals are even a thing, and why deviants are a thing, is to... Okay, I'll explain this. Deviants were made before Eternals. The deviants were made as a way to preserve the planet's population in order to grow. So basically fight off anything that'll kill the intelligent life form to keep it growing, in order to hatch the Celestial. And by the way, if I haven't mentioned already, at the beginning of the movie, there's a lot of Erishim lies to the Eternals a lot. Erishim, the main Celestial that you're introduced to, he's a liar. And that's why people are saying, well, the nature of the universe is probably not what he says it is, which I don't know, maybe that is true. But he lies to the Eternals, saying that they all come from a planet named Olympia, which is actually in the comics. But later in the film, we learn, and remember what I just said about Thanos too, just keep that in mind. We later learn in the film that there is no Olympia, and in fact that they're all actually basically fancy robots. Excuse me. And what their purpose is to fight deviants. Or just deviants. In order to preserve the life on that planet. But Thanos wiping out half the universe is literally one of those things where you're wiping out half of the you're halving the population on Earth. Does that not interfere with is that not the issue that the deviants are causing? That's another plot hole. Let's think of another one. Fuck, there's just so many issues in this movie. It's unreal. Yeah, the biggest one for me is that this universe is just a bunch of giants going around to solar systems, planting themselves into planets, just for those planets to be, I guess, populated with intelligent life, capable of happiness and sadness and emotion and intelligence, just to be wiped out after a certain point. You know what I mean? It's stupid. It is so stupid. I know, I see what he was going for. This movie explains in this universe's law, what did I just say? I tried to make fun of it, but I failed. No, but I see what they were going for. The director, whoever it was, they were trying to basically establish the nature of the Marvel universe and make it really drastic. Oh, I never thought about that. And make us involved as well. And that is cool. It's a cool idea, but it just doesn't work. It doesn't really make sense. And why are these Celestials even being born? Are they dying? He says every 1 billion years a new Celestial must be born. But they never explain why. I don't know. It's just shitty. Like I said, movies can be really good, can be really bad, but it is what it is. It's your choice to watch them. That being said, I hope you enjoyed this episode of the podcast. Tune into other episodes. Please check out my YouTube channel. You can find it by searching up my name or searching up Recess Club. That's RECESS Club, like a clubhouse. Enjoy, guys. Have a good night.